Let's cross over to France 24 correspondent Dave Keating. Dave, what's the latest?
Yeah, this Foreign Affairs Council has ended without an agreement on unlocking that 90 billion euros for Ukraine. It's a big disappointment for the EU, but there is still a last-minute possibility here. So the meeting today was of the national foreign ministers, and that's where the foreign minister of Hungary, Peter Suharto, made his case after Hungary made the shock announcement on Friday that it was going back on its word that it gave back in December that it would allow this 90 billion. Now, the way this agreement was reached in December, you may recall they were initially talking about using these frozen Russian assets to give to Ukraine, but because Belgium was worried about the legal vulnerabilities of that, they instead went to this plan B, which was a 90 billion euro loan out of the EU budget. However, Viktor Orban plus Czechia and Slovakia were all opposed. So they reached this agreement that they would use these funds but exempt these three countries. So these three countries, Hungary, Czechia, and Slovakia, wouldn't have to pay for it, and they all said they were okay with that. Then Friday, we get this announcement that Viktor Orban was changing his mind, that he was now going to veto it unless Ukraine gives guarantees to have oil flowing through this Druzhba pipeline. Now, Ukraine has said that Russia is the one that bombed the pipeline, something Hungary never condemned, and so they can't get it back online because Russia destroyed it. But Hungary is saying that Ukraine is slow walking the repair of that pipeline, and they want commitments that they're going to urgently fix it. Now, there may be a last-minute reprieve here. Tonight, the ambassadors from the national countries, the so-called permanent representatives of the member states to the EU, are meeting to holding the regular weekly meeting, but they may be able to come to an agreement tonight on that. But again, Hungary is still insisting on these guarantees about the pipeline that Ukraine says it just can't give.
Yeah, and the Druzhba pipeline, which got hit again, 1,200 kilometers inside of Russia overnight. So the Ukrainians standing firm, it seems.
Yeah, the Ukrainians are standing firm, and they're again today, they pointed out that Hungary isn't condemning Russia's attacks on this pipeline, so why are they blaming Ukraine, who's the one getting attacked? I have to say there was a lot of frustration from the other ministers coming in this morning. Both the German foreign minister and the Polish foreign minister both said they were, quote, shocked by Hungary going back on its word. The Lithuanian foreign minister said that either they have to change these rules about foreign policy that require unanimity, or something has to be done regarding Hungary. He seemed to be almost hinting on them trying to kick Hungary out of the European Union, although he didn't explicitly say that. But there was huge frustration from people going in and from them coming out when they failed to reach any deal. Now, the EU's High Representative Kaja Kallas herself expressed frustration about this situation, and she said that maybe they need to bring back that Plan A, which has now become Plan B, which is the frozen Russian assets. That would be bad news for Belgium if they decide to go back to that discussion, because Belgium is the one that blocked that at that December council. But Kaja Kallas saying it has to be one or the other. They have to either use Plan A or Plan B, or Ukraine will lose this war. Ukraine desperately needs this funding. So we'll see if they can reach an agreement tonight at that meeting of national representatives. But Hungary is really digging in their heels here. This, of course, is ahead of the Hungarian election coming up in April, and I think everyone else around that table today of foreign ministers views this as election season politicking by Orban, who has really made his attacks on the EU and Ukraine central to his campaign for re-election, a campaign which, by the way, the polls show him currently losing.
And another precinct heard from, Dave, is Slovakia, whose prime minister has stated his country's power grid operator would refuse any Ukrainian request for emergency electricities. The two countries share a border. How's this all going to look on Tuesday? Again, it's that 4th anniversary, and we're due to have, what, the president of the European Commission, the president of the European Council, traveling, what, empty-handed to Kyiv?
Yeah, they're on their way there right now as we speak, actually. I think they're probably already on the train within Ukraine. And they're showing up empty handed, like you said. This is extremely embarrassing for the EU. And that's why it's leading to so much frustration from the other countries that Orban gave his word in December and then is now going back on it. Because this is optically, this is going to be really bad tomorrow when they're showing, because they really wanted to show up with this big, strong show of support. I mean, 90 billion euros is a lot of money. It would have meant a lot to Ukraine at this very delicate moment for them when they have been battered by Russia throughout the winter, as Russia is targeting energy infrastructure to try to freeze out the Ukrainians. Let's see if they can put some kind of positive spin on it. I'm sure that right now on that train, President von der Leyen is hoping beyond hope that the national permanent representatives can come to a last-minute agreement tonight.
Dave Keating reporting live from Brussels. Many thanks for that update. Again, 4 years ago, Russia